Hello and welcome to 9-inch Charge, a Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer The Old World discussion channel. Today we're going to check out yesterday's Dominion Day preview. Yes, I know I'm a day late, but there's been a different tabletop game that's been distracting me lately. There's been a live-action European Subbuteo tournament that has been phenomenal to watch. So if you haven't been watching that, check that out as well. Just before we get started, please be sure to drop this video a like if you enjoy it, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. But without further ado, let's see what it's all been about. Let's have a look at the Dominion Day preview. First up are two gigantic battle tomes. Auric Warclans just seems to be getting bigger and bigger, so not only does this have the Kruleboyz, it's going to have your Ironjaws and your Bone Splitters. And fingers crossed for something else as well, because there is a winged beastie in the background of this artwork. Hopefully it's a Wyvern on the way, but we don't know. It's just a little tease. Sometimes they have these things in the artwork and they turn out to be nothing. Other times they turn out to be incredible new models. So let's watch this space. And the other new battle tome is the Stormcast Eternals, which again is another damn big book encompassing all the different chambers from the releases since the dawn of Age of Sigmar. So along with your rules and artwork and narrative, there are going to be some updates to Path to Glory for your armies in these books. Something to look forward to just to expand your own force and play your own game and make your army unique. I'm really looking forward to having a peek inside these books just to kind of get an idea of the way AOS 3 is going to go. But that will have to wait another day, because today is all about the miniatures. And the first to be revealed is the Lord Commander Bastian Carthalos, leader of the Hammers of Sigmar. The Hammers of Sigmar, as you'll remember, are the Golden Boys, the poster boys for Age of Sigmar, first to be forged, never to fail. And if ever there was an embodiment of that war cry, it is this model. Oh my goodness, how confidently is he strolling through the rubble, like he is going to just shatter every bone in your body with that hammer. I love the paint job with this as well. The glowing blue eyes make him look like he's been reforged a few times. He's battle hardened, he's ready to go. And not only does he attack with his hammer, he also calls down thunderbolts to obliterate his enemies. But I think let's just take a bit of time to appreciate the paint job done on this model. I mean, look at that cloak. I mean, it's just unfair, isn't it? Mere mortals aren't going to be able to replicate that. I mean, but it does look amazing. Next up is the Knight Relictor, who seems to be a bit of a replacement for the Lord Relictor. He's also a priest, and he carries this massive Star Soul mace. The Lord Relictor from the original release is one of my favourite Stormcast models, but I think this one just fits the aesthetic of these new models a bit better. He's a bit less chunky, and I think he's got a bit more attitude with that stare down that he's doing. This release so far has been a bit like, just when you think, yeah, Stormcast have got enough heroes, thank you, we don't need any more heroes, they bring out these two and you think, okay, maybe they didn't have enough heroes. These are exceptional models. But not only do they have two new heroes, there are also two new infantry types that were shown in the preview as well. The Vanquishers and the Vigilors. The Vanquishers are armed with celestial greatswords that hit exceptionally hard. These have got to be at least a damage 2 weapon, haven't they? I mean, they are massive. And what else that does is it gives the Stormcast the reach that they need because of their big old bases. What's really cool about the model poses here is that they're using their greatswords in a variety of ways. Some of them are using them almost like spears or pikes, laying them down. Others are using them like swords, and some are holding them like halberds almost. And it's just cool that they've got their own different fighting styles and their ways of using them. I think the musician is trying a bit too hard in his pose. It almost looks like he's trying to photobomb the rest of them. Next are the Vigilors, and I do not mind telling you that these are right up my street. These are hands down my favourite Stormcast models they've ever done. We were just talking about how dynamic and different poses can be within units now, and these just do that to a T. There's ones in the middle of firing, ones who have just fired, ones who are grabbing more arrows from the quiver, some that have readied their swords. They're just brilliant. Some are on the move. I don't know what the one with the shopping list is doing, but we'll find out, I'm sure. The new bearded masks are cool. They're kind of badass. I just want us to take a moment and just put this unit here side by side with the Judicators and just appreciate how many leaps and bounds ahead of the original release of Stormcast this release is. Absolutely no comparison. Just when I started to paint up some Sylvaneth to take my living cities down that route, here they come for the Stormcast, and now I'm thinking, do I want to have more Stormcast? Because I definitely want some of these guys. And finally, there's some new poses for the Annihilators, including two-handed hammers. I mean, goodness me. I mean, we can only imagine the kind of damage that these are going to be outputting. And there's a guy with a bear on his chest plate instead of a lion, which I think is cool. I wish the bear was roaring. He looks a little bit sad, to be honest. But other than that, fantastic poses, great models. Oh, and his knee pad has got a bear on it as well. That's a better bear, actually, I think, than the one on his chest plate. Yeah, love this. Love all these releases, as you can tell. Really excited for these. Shall we have a look at what else there is in store for the Kruleboyz? Because obviously Stormcast is a big established faction as it is. There's loads of models for them to choose from previous releases. The Kruleboyz, we're about to see them fleshed out into their full faction, not just the stuff you get in the starter kit or stuff that's been previewed previously. So let's have a look at what they've got. And first up is a brand new named character, Swamp Boss Scumdrek. And he's a legend among the Kruleboyz, not only for his abilities as a mighty warrior, but also for the fact that he's been known to gamble on the outcome of battles. He rides a Sludge Raker Beast, which is just a horrible, great big, fanged, clawed crocodile swamp beast, whose claws look like they're the perfect tin opener for Sigmarite armor. There's two variants of this model. You can also make it into a Snatch Boss, who are experts at swooping up prize captives in the heat of battle and dragging them into the swamp. This sounds like it could turn out to be a really fun mechanic, a bit similar to the Ale Guzzler Gargant, something that could potentially break up the cohesion of your enemy units. But aside from speculating about potential rules, how detailed is this model? Everywhere you look, there's little detail. There's keys dangling down to unlock the cage, and there's broken shackles on the beast itself, and all sorts everywhere. I mean, it just is a real testament to what you can do with plastic miniatures now. And it's got a lot of height to it, so I'm hoping it's, you know, at least as tall as a Mega Boss on a Maw Crusher, something that is a real centerpiece for the army. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people do with it base-wise, and if they put any hanging moss on it or something like that to make it look like it's coming out of the swamp even more. Next up is the Marsh Crawler Sloggoth. If you're facing one of these creatures, try to avoid getting grabbed by the Grot's long, sharp snatcher gear and watch out for the Sloggoth's bothersome regenerative powers. So the Sloggoth looks to be some sort of swamp variant of a Troggoth. For me, this paint scheme is a little bit too skin coloured. I'd like to have seen it in a blue or something like that. I think that will help the mold to pop a bit more, and also it just looks so disgusting in this skin colour. But I suppose that's probably the look that they're going for, something that you look at and you think, oh my goodness, I do not want that coming after me, especially those big nets on top of it as well. And the grots on top as well, typical grots, really characterful, great expressions, great sort of long pointy noses, great sculpts. The drummer kind of looks like he's trying to guide in an airplane. Either that or he's just completely lost to the music. But again, really cool big centerpiece model. I mean, look at the Sloggoth's face. Look at his expression. Just fantastic. Looking forward to seeing this done, especially in different schemes, and to see what people do with it. And next team is the Stormcast, 2 heroes, so 2 infantry lines. And the new releases are a variant on the GUTRIPPAZ, and they have a new weapon option, and also a solo release of the Manskewer Bolt Boys, and they now have a Bolt Boy boss option. I've been looking over these GUTRIPPA pictures again and again, and I'm just so impressed with how non-uniform they are. I think as someone who's been playing Warhammer for a long time now, you kind of get used to your rank and flank units or your battle line units all being very uniform and looking the same. But as you go through, some are wearing helmets, some are wearing hoods, some have got eye patches. All the weapons look different. Some are little swords, some are axes. I think there's a guy with a mace. And the musician isn't overdoing it. He kind of looks as he should look. And lastly, the Man Skewer Bolt Boys. They're looking great as well. Again, really detailed. And I think these models, what's great about them is they've got the loading mechanism. It's all kind of just really detailed and all there. And I think my favourite thing is that they fixed bayonets and they just look like they're just ready to skewer you with them as much as they are going to shoot you with them. If you are going to collect the Kruleboyz, check out on the channel I've done a tutorial on how to make swamp bases quick and easy, and also check out Cult of Paint because they've been painting these to a sort of tabletop army standard, not your top end professional golden demon standard that we know they're all capable of, but something that you can follow through and paint along with and is a really solid, great guide. But what do you think about this release? What has got you most excited? I think, as I said before, for me, it is the Vigilers, and a very close second to that, I would say, is the Swamp Boss. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to drop this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I've been 9 Inch Charge, and I will catch you next time.